Today's video is a bit of a sad video because we're going to show you a bit of the inside of the chateau, where we had a lot of tests to do to actually see what kind of material the house is made of, because over the centuries the following propriétaires and owners decided to do some renovations, not all the time asking the authorization of the administration. So they were doing it a bit their way, and sometimes it was not really perfectly done correctly with stones and wood, and sometimes just do with concrete. And we discovered so many things, so we had to actually a bit destroy and break most of what was done to actually see and get back to the origin and to actually eventually restore it in a way that is healthy for the house. So today you're going to see a video of a lot of destroying, so I'm really sorry for that. And also I had the visit yesterday of the previous owner, that are lovely people, and who came to visit the house to see the evolution, and I was a bit feeling bad about showing them the inside of the house because they have all the souvenirs and memories, and I must say it must have been a bit traumatizing for them. But well, this is part of it and it's for the good health of the house. So let's start and see. Here we are in the Salon des Quatre Empereurs. I don't know if you remember, it was the main living room where the four emperors at the same time as Napoleon just met to actually fight Napoleon better, because they got one of the letters from Josephine to Napoleon, and they understood one of the battles of Napoleon, so they wanted to meet here and decide. So this salon was probably, it was because there was some pictures, I made a video about it, pretty stunning. So this time we just got back the space. So we removed completely the walls that were in the middle, because it was like 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. So this was removed. We recreated a floor that is perfectly flat to actually welcome later the new floor and the new paneling. The good news is that the administration authorized us to reopen these 2 windows that were not actually reopening, it's just going to be opening. Before, back in the day, it was a little chapel with an access with a door on that wall. The chapel was destroyed in the end of 19th century, and they decided not to keep the door and not to turn it into a window. That could have been kind of logical, because this is the south with a beautiful view. The logical thing would have been to turn it into 2 windows, but no, they decided to close it. So on the first floor you have 2 beautiful windows, and on the main floor, just under it, you don't have the windows. So the drac was, you know what, actually let's reopen it, because if Mansart, the first architect, was designing this house without the chapel, he would have put the windows. So let's put back the windows. So they were very kind, and after like a lot of negotiation, we succeeded on finding it a good idea. So we can reopen 2 windows over there. So this salon will be amazing. Imagine 2 windows on the Châtelet, 2 windows on the Miroir d'Eau, 2 windows on the garden, the river, and the parterre est. So this is one of the good news. I think I want to get back all the poutres and all the wood parts and not have a flat ceiling. I think I want to get back the French ceiling style, which is like a big poutre with little solives. And I think I want to get this back. Usually it was painted in white. It's really the style of the 17th century. And under that, you always add a little corniche and the wood paneling of the classic time. So here we are on top on the first floor, and that's where we had to remove most of the job that was done in the 20th century. And what is happening now is actually we discovered that most of the floor were not the original one and were actually concrete. So we had to remove all of the concrete to purge it and to remove it, and you have actually part of the concrete floor that is just standing there. We need to evacuate that. And it was actually very heavy, because that was not even like a light one, it was a heavy one. So this will be evacuated, and the distribution of the rooms will be a bit different, as usually, authentically, the corridor were always in one facade. And in this house, for no reason, the corridor was actually turning and doing like a little Z. That was bizarre. So we remove it all. Now it looks a bit empty and a bit dramatic, but Hopefully soon we're going to be able to reinforce the floors. This is the part we're supposed to start in 2025, to reinforce a bit the floors to make sure everything is sticking all together and is solid enough. And then we're going to probably recreate the good shape of each room and recreate the room step by step and redo some nice wooden floor on the floor. And cannot wait for that, because I have to say this is a bit depressing. It looks a bit like a Berlin post-war situation, and I'm not sure this is really charming, but soon. And now we're on the staircase, and same story. We had to do some check on how it was done, and under the floor, actually, if you see, it's full of concrete and metal, and not at all the stone miracle that was these stairs. So we will have to restore that, the structure, and not only the structure, we're going to do a full lifting. This is my specialty, because we're going to redo the structure with the stones, and also we're going to create the decor and the surface that was back to be apparent stones. So what happened is to put all this plaster work, they had to make many little holes on the walls, on the stone. And then they could put the plaster on it and you could stick on it. The problem is now I want to remove the plaster, and what do we find? We find the stones with so many little holes that we cannot reuse it. So what we're going to do is first redo completely the structure to make sure everything can stand, and we can remove the pilaster that is just under, that was added 50 years ago for the stairs to stand. So once this is done, we can do the decoration. We remove all the plaster work. We make it perfectly smooth and flat. And then what we're going to do, we're going to do another type of plaster mixed with powder of stone. And once everything is perfectly put together on the walls, we can actually redraw. Oh shit, have you seen that? Whatever. Once we can cover this, specifically this, with this powder of plaster and stone, and it's perfectly flat, we can recreate and carve a little bit the joints, and then you put joints again in it, so it's going to look like it's actually perfect stones with stones, joints. And it's going to look perfect like it was always like this with pierre apparente. This is the project for 2025. We are supposed to make the house more solid and more coherent. So we're going to reinforce all the floors. We're going to reinforce the stairs, and we're going to redo the staircase, and we're going to redo aesthetically the staircase and also the kitchen. So this is the program of 2025, and maybe a bit more actually. À bientôt.